Hello my friends. Lesson 4. Mark Zuckerberg is a central figure in the story of the Internet, social networks, and modern communication. He co-founded a platform that reshaped how billions of people connect, share ideas, and access news. This biography tells his story in clear, simple English for learners. It explains his early life, education, the creation and growth of Facebook, controversies, and his public life today. Mark Elliott Zuckerberg was born on May 14, 1984 in White Plains, New York. He grew up in Dobbs Ferry, a small town near the Hudson River. His parents, Edward and Karen, raised him and his three sisters in a household where learning and curiosity were important. Edward worked as a dentist and Karen worked as a psychiatrist. The family supported Mark's interest in computers and encouraged him to explore technology from an early age. As a child, Mark showed a strong interest in computers, puzzles, and games. He read books about programming and began building simple software projects while in middle school. His father noticed the boy's talent and hired a private tutor to help him learn faster. One of Mark's first projects was a small messaging program he made for his family and his father's dental office. The program allowed simple communication between computers and worked like a primitive chat system. Mark attended Phillips Exeter Academy for his high school education. This school is known for its strong academics. At Exeter, Mark continued to write programs and build projects. He worked on games and small tools that drew the attention of local companies. His interest in building tools that help people was clear even then. In 2002, Mark entered Harvard University. He studied psychology and computer science. At Harvard he created several programs that were popular on campus. One early project helped students choose classes by showing which courses their friends were attending. Another project, called FaceMash, invited students to compare photos of classmates. FaceMash caused controversy because it used photos without permission, and it nearly led to disciplinary action. But the project also revealed how strongly people care about social information and how they judge and compare themselves online. In early 2004, Mark and a small group of friends launched a website called The Facebook. The idea was simple: allow college students to create profiles, share basic personal information, and connect with friends. The site spread quickly at Harvard and then to other colleges. Mark left Harvard and moved to California to work on the project full-time. He and his co-founders rented a small house that served as both living space and office. The early culture of the company was informal, creative, and focused on continuous improvement. Over the following years, Facebook added many new features that increased user engagement. People could upload photos, send messages, join groups, and post updates about their lives. Facebook introduced the news feed, which showed a stream of friends' activity. The news feed changed how people used the site and increased time spent on the platform. Facebook also opened its platform to external developers, allowing them to build small apps and games that worked inside the site. This growth led to rapid user expansion and new business models. Mark believed in a principle that real identities and real names helped create trust on the platform. Facebook initially required users to use their real names, which distinguished it from some earlier anonymous social websites. The focus on authentic identity helped Facebook grow, but it also created complexities related to privacy and safety. As the platform expanded, Mark became known as the company's leader and public face. His leadership style emphasized rapid development and experimentation. The phrase "move fast and break things" summed up the early culture: launch new ideas quickly and learn from mistakes. This approach encouraged innovation but sometimes led to public problems when features or policies had unintended consequences. With great success came tough challenges. Facebook faced disputes among founders and early investors over ownership and business direction. Some co-founders had legal battles and public disagreements. These conflicts showed the pressures of rapid growth and the importance of clear agreements in startups. Privacy became another major issue. Facebook collected vast amounts of information about users' activities, preferences, and social connections. Regulators, journalists, and users asked, how does Facebook use this data? High-profile incidents, including the Cambridge Analytica case, raised concerns about data access and misuse. These incidents led to investigations, new regulations, and pressure on Facebook to improve privacy protections. Another concern was the platform's role in public life and politics. People used Facebook to share news and opinions, and sometimes false information spread quickly. During elections and political campaigns, misinformation and targeted political ads raised alarms. Governments and civil society groups debated how to reduce harm while respecting free speech. Facebook responded with policy changes, fact-checking partnerships, and new content moderation systems, but the challenges proved complex. Facebook also faced critiques about its effect on mental health. Researchers studied how social media affected self-esteem, attention, and relationships. Some studies suggested negative effects, like increased anxiety or feelings of loneliness among certain users. Facebook engaged with researchers and tried product changes to reduce harmful experiences. At the same time, Facebook's business grew into a powerful advertising platform. Small and large businesses used Facebook's tools to reach customers. The company built precise ad targeting systems based on user data. This advertising model created immense revenue but also fueled debates about privacy and market power. Regulators in different countries began to examine whether a single company should have so much control over online communication and commerce. In 2012 and 2014, Facebook bought two major apps, Instagram and WhatsApp. These acquisitions expanded Facebook's reach into photo sharing and messaging. They also raised concerns about competition and the concentration of digital platforms. Some rivals and regulators viewed the acquisitions as a way for Facebook to reduce competition and extend its influence. Mark studied how technology might evolve, and in recent years, he focused on building new technologies and platforms. In 2021, Facebook's parent company rebranded as Meta Platforms Incorporated. The new name reflected a strategic focus on the metaverse, a future set of digital spaces that blend virtual reality, augmented reality, social interaction, and commerce. Meta invested in virtual reality headsets, developer tools, and immersive worlds where people could interact with avatars. Mark's life also included personal milestones. He married Priscilla Chan, a medical student he met at Harvard. They have 2 children and founded a philanthropic organization, the Chan-Zuckerberg Initiative, which supports education, health research, and community programs. Mark pledged significant resources to support science and education over time. Throughout his life, Mark's habits and routines reflected his focus on work and long-term goals. He preferred simple daily choices, like wearing similar clothing each day, to reduce distractions. He promoted reading and careful thinking and encouraged teams to focus on major, long-term problems. Mark's story offers lessons for learners and young entrepreneurs. Small projects can become global platforms if the idea solves a real problem. Leadership requires both vision and responsibility. Innovation can create powerful benefits but also new risks that must be managed. Understanding technology's social effects is critical in building products that serve people well. Today, Meta remains a major technology company that works on social platforms, virtual reality, and new computing experiences. The company continues to face questions about responsibility, competition, and how to make digital spaces safe and valuable. Mark Zuckerberg's journey, from a curious child to the head of a global technology company, provides a clear example of how ideas, hard work, and choices impact the modern world. From a very young age, Mark pursued projects that combined curiosity and practical problem-solving. He built games and simple programs that explored mathematics, logic, and human interaction. His early experiments with recommendation systems and user interfaces showed an intuitive sense for how people might use software to make decisions and find common interests. Teachers and peers noticed his talent and encouraged him to take part in advanced classes and coding clubs. These experiences helped Mark learn not just programming but how to work with teams and explain technical solutions to non-technical people. After moving to California, Mark learned about fundraising, product design, and user growth. He worked with engineers to scale the site from thousands to millions of users. The team built systems to handle massive traffic, designed database solutions, and continuously tested user experiences. Mark's decisions about where to invest, which features to develop next, and how to hire engineers shaped the company's early path. He focused on creating infrastructure that could grow with demand, which later allowed the company to add new products without collapsing under load. Facebook grew into a platform that influenced global culture. It changed how people discovered news, how organizers created events, how small businesses advertised, and how artists shared their work. The company created new digital professions and industries around social media management, community moderation, and targeted advertising. It also changed expectations about communication speed and public visibility. People began to expect immediate sharing and quick responses, and civic movements used social tools to build support quickly. Mark often spoke about long-term goals and the responsibilities of building tools that billions use. The shift to Meta represented a new step in his thinking, a focus on immersive experiences and long-term infrastructure that connects people across virtual spaces. This vision continues to evolve as hardware, software, and internet capacity improve worldwide. Mark sees technology as a way to remove distance between people, but he also acknowledges the need for new rules, ethics, and safety systems. The story of Mark Zuckerberg shows both opportunity and responsibility. Readers can learn language and ideas by summarizing each section, listing new words, and practicing pronunciation. Consider discussing ethical questions raised by social media with friends or classmates to deepen both language skills and critical thinking. Mark's life continues to develop. Watching his work can teach both language and modern history.